Okay, we're back at Passerby Analytics HQ, and I'm gonna have to fill out a questionnaire. That was the favor she wanted to ask me. So, details about people. What is your hobby? Well, I guess I'd have to say video games. I don't know why it's all the way at the bottom in a video game, but still. What is your job? Oh, God. Office worker, I guess. I have no idea where I'd fit in that. That's absolutely pathetic. Okay, I'll give this questionnaire sheet to you. So now I can survey people about the questions that I just got. So no, I do not want to answer other questionnaires. Screw that. I'm leaving, and I'm not coming back. Goodbye. Okay, now that this is done, over there we have a dock that leads to Liberty Island, but only if you have the Liberty ticket that was distributed at launch. And it hasn't been distributed since. Where if you have the ticket, you can take this boat right there, go to Liberty Island, and you're going to be fighting some plasma grunts that have imprisoned the Victini, and after that you get to try and catch the Victini for yourself. That Victini doesn't have V-Create, however, it's an event-exclusive item. So yeah, it doesn't have V-Create, but you can still do something decent with Victini without V-Create. Note that I said something decent. You're not going to be face-rolling anyone with a Victini without V-Create, but if you want to do that, that's your decision, not mine. So now I'm going to head back to heal. I intended on going back and doing that between parts, but unfortunately, as you just saw, I couldn't do it, so I have to do it on screen. Thank you very much, game. So after that, we're going to be heading to the battle company in order to, well, have some battles, because that building is filled with trainers to fight. Now, something else that I forgot. This guy, once you have traded with a certain amount of people, either on the GTS or through Wi-Fi connection, you are going to be getting some rewards from this guy, depending on how many people you traded with. And I believe the top prize for this is a Master Ball. So if you trade with a lot of people, that's a way to get an easy second Master Ball. I believe it's after trading with 50 people. Obviously, I'm at 0 and always will be because, well, this is an emulator, but still. Now we're going to head on over to the battle company, and for this, I'm going to be using Petilil as my lead for the simple reason that it's fallen behind in terms of level, and this area simply has to be more friendly to it than Pinwheel Forest was. It's sort of annoying how you have to reactivate the dowsing machine every time after using the menu, but I understand that it's not the native function of the touchscreen, so oh well. So, this guy, he's supposed to be the janitor, but as we're going to learn at the end of this place, he actually runs the place. By the way, minor spoiler, sorry if you really cared about that riveting plot detail, but, yeah, here, this guy is being woken up with wake-up slap. Bad idea, considering it deals double damage to a sleeping target, so I have no doubt that he looks like a complete wreck. Now you might be seeing me use Petilil and starting to freak out that I'm going to pass up on Quiver Dance because I'm going to be over-leveled by the time I evolve it. Do not worry. I have everything planned. I promise you that when I reach Nimbasa for the first time, and I'm going to avoid the desert trainers entirely in order to get to Nimbasa if need be, which, well, all I have to do in Nimbasa is fight a couple of plasma grunts, and then the sunstone that I need is going to be available. But do not worry, I will get to Nimbasa in time to evolve it before it learns Quiver Dance. Now, to come back to my last video, once again, because I forgot something else entirely. You might say that video was a bit botched, but sorry, I totally forgot about that. In the second to last pyre, the one with the boat that I said didn't do anything, well, I lied. It actually does something as long as you traded with someone through Wi-Fi connection or through the GTS. That boat leads to Unity Tower, which is a skyscraper where you can... basically, you can talk to the trainers you've traded with in... well, not to the trainers themselves, but to their avatars, I guess. They're going to talk about the Pokemon that you traded to them, that they traded to you, etc. And, oh, I'm going to get a gift. Quick Balls! These suck. They only work on the first, I'm going to get something else. Let me guess, Timer Balls. Yeah! Called it. Sort of made sense, but Quick Balls really, really suck. They're only really good for catching runners. If at that, they're barely more effective than Dusk Balls, if at all. So, I'm sort of a one-track mind, so I use Dusk Balls anyway. But otherwise, Quick Balls are absolutely terrible because you're expected to catch a Pokemon without weakening it, without giving it any status at all. And once again, as I said, it's barely more effective than a Dusk Ball, so I'd much rather weaken the Pokemon instead. Now, Timer Balls are a bit more interesting, but not too much, because they get more effective as the battle goes on, but they take something like 25 turns to become more effective than Dusk Balls, and you hit the limit like 5 turns afterwards, so once again, it's really not worth it. I'd much rather spam Dusk Balls without having to worry about how many turns the battle has been dragging on. And Dusk Balls are effective enough that most battles, even against legendaries, will not reach the 25 turn mark too often. That is provided that you weaken the opponent first. But anyway, I was talking about Unity Tower. It has 130 floors, one for each country. So, for example, every American that you're going to trade with are going to be in their own floor. Every Canadian's going to be on another floor. Germans are going to be on another floor. Australians, and so on and so forth. And yes, I know that there are more than 130 countries in the world, but I guess that's how it goes. I don't really know which countries are left out. Maybe many of the smaller ones, but doesn't really matter either way. So that was a little rundown on the Unity Tower, which we're not going to get to see, unfortunately. But at least I got to talk to you about it, so at least for completion's sake. So, as I mentioned before, I still have a backlog of subjects that I wanted to talk to earlier on, but I couldn't, so I'm going to start digging into that now. I know that it may sound forced, that it's completely inappropriate that I would talk about the Dream World, because that's what I'm going to talk about while I'm in the Battle Company, but just know that this is something that I wanted to talk about before, and now's as good a time as any to make up for it, since I'm going to be fighting a crap ton of trainers in this place. So yeah, the Dream World. If you've never tried it out, it's one of the features of the Global Link website. You need a Global Link account in order to get into the Dream World. And to be honest, if you have never tried it out, but you're itching to, don't worry. You're not missing too much, especially if you use simulators for your competitive battling needs, because the only real reason why you'd want to go there is because of the Dream World abilities. But, yeah, the way it works is that there are several areas on your own personal island of dreams. Everyone has their own personal island. First is a house that you can buy some furniture for with a crap ton of berries. Don't bother with that. It does absolutely nothing for you. If you really don't want your house to be barren, you can always ask Loblolly back in Nakreen to do something for you. Sometimes there are going to be promotions that will give you free stuff, such as, for example, there was one with a Victini doll or something like that. There was also a promotion during Christmas time a few years ago where you could get holiday-themed products for free. But otherwise, most of the products require extreme amounts of berries to buy. So just don't bother with it. Another feature is the share shelf, where you can put on that shelf any item that you have obtained in the Dream World, be it berries or pass orbs or even evolutionary stones, anything like that. You can put it on these shelves, and other people, when they come to your island, they're going to be able to trade their items for yours. Once again, I would say don't bother using it at all, because if you put something that's even in the slightest bit valuable, you're going to come back the next day and you're going to see that it's been replaced by an Oran Berry or a Pass Orb or something like that. So once again, don't really bother with that. Another feature is that you can grow berries in the Dream World. This is basically what replaces the soft soil from generations 3 and 4. You can grow your berries there. Most of the berries are found in the Dream World. So yeah, you can grow them. I guess you could water them on your own, but you can also have other people who come to your island water the berries for you, and they got a pretty good incentive to do so, because watering other people's berries gives you extra points for the Dream World. Now, what do points do? I'm going to get into that a little bit later. Oh, a scope lens. This is an item that increases your critical hit ratio. I would give it to Drillbur, but I'm going to get the Eviolite in not too much longer, so I'm not even going to bother. It's not going to be a huge difference maker, because I'm going to slap on the Eviolite as soon as I get it. So for now, the Quick Claw is going to stay here, even though it's fundamentally useless. Anyway, this is the second floor where you can fight people, the 55th floor. There are only 2 floors that you can actually visit outside of the first floor, so don't worry, you're not missing out on anything if you thought there were like 55 floors worth of trainers to face. Nope, that's not the case. But anyways, I was about to get into the final feature of the Dream World, which is the Island of Dreams. As of now, the Island of Dreams is made of 6 areas that have different themes depending on, there's an icy cave, there's the spooky manor, the pleasant forest, the windswept sky, places like that. And in each area, you can find a variety of Pokemon that have their Dream World ability. Of course, the better ones tend to be more rare, such as, for example, Poliwag and Vulpix are both in the Pleasant Forest, and they're a pain in the ass, because not only are they really rare to begin with, but you also need a certain amount of points in order to get them, because that's what points do. The more points you get, the wider a variety of Pokemon you're going to be obtaining, and you're going to be obtaining more kinds of items as well, the more points you obtain. Do note that Generation 5 Pokemon can only be found if you're connecting to the global link with a copy of Black 2 or White 2, because Generation 5 Pokemon were not programmed into the Entralink in regular Black and White, so you're out of luck. If you're looking for, Regenerator Amoonguss, you're going to need to connect to the global link with a copy of Black and White 2. Also, something that I need to mention, how you get those Pokemons is that you have to do one minigame out of a very, very small bank of minigames. All the minigames are really easy and shitty as well. So this is the most tedious part, is the fact that you have to do those crappy little minigames in order to get Pokemon with their Dream World abilities. As I said, the only saving grace is the fact that some of these abilities are amazing. But once again, you won't really care if you use simulators for fighting other human players. So, all in all, the Dream World, not really worth your time. If you want some of these abilities, you're going to want to try and go in there, but it's really boring. I don't know. The concept of a Flash game based on Pokemon that would allow you to give you access to those rare abilities, fundamentally, this should be interesting, but they botched it. But the paradox is that it's clearly aimed at children in its design, yet the abilities are for more advanced players for the most part. So this is why I can't wrap my head around that. They make something for us, but at the same time, not really. So that was the last trainer that we're going to fight today. There are still 2 left, so I'm going to fight them next time. And after that, we're going to continue our little tour of Castelia City.